Welcome back. It's Sports Tonight on Channels Television. You can be part of the show. Yes, you should be part of the show. Talk to us, particularly after hearing that beautiful, sweet, heartwarming story of the Mustafa brothers featuring at the under 21 category of the Nigeria Open. They played brilliant table tennis. They lost, but at that age, our passion is alive. So it's not about winning. You know, they came out to have fun, and now social media is going crazy for them. Everyone is talking about it, and we're glad that we are also talking about the Mustafa brothers from Borno State. Sports as a power to reform lives, and we will continue to encourage sports at a grassroots level. Let's get on with the show now. Hopefully we'll get former Nigerian cricket captain Endurance of Fame to tell us more about the T20 Africa Cup. Yes, that's a competition that we're waiting for. Cricket South Africa announced it that Nigeria and Ghana, alongside two other teams in Mpumalanga and Limpopo, will take part in the 2018-2019 season curtain raiser. Now, the competition will take place over two jam-packed weekends of cricket from 14th to the 16th and 23rd to the 24th of September. The 20 participating teams are the 12 Cricket South Africa affiliates, 3 associate members, and the 5 guest African countries. They have been drawn into 4 pools of 5, with the winners of each group advancing through to the semi-finals. So cricket will get busy. In September, Pool A, we have KwaZulu-Natal, Inland, Ghana is also in that group. But let's just run for where we find Nigeria in Pool D. There's Borland, there's Northwest, there's Northern Cape, and Limpopo, and of course, Nigeria. So if you're a cricket follower, put that down. It's called the Africa T20 Cup. Yes, the Africa T20 Cup, and Nigeria will be taking part in that one. Cricket, we love it here because just in case you don't know, cricket has been played in Nigeria since the late 19th century. It used to be so big, but I started saying, we are a footballing country, so we just, okay, cricket, wait, volleyball, wait, everybody, wait, let's just play football. But that's if Endurance of Fame is ready. Let's just listen to Endurance of Fame tell us more about the Africa T20 Cup. So if we have Endurance of Fame, good evening, welcome to Sports Tonight. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, good to have you. Endurance of Fame is the former captain of Nigeria's cricket team. Endurance, tell us more about the Africa T20 Cup.
Well, basically, I think it's a tournament organized by Cricket South Africa every year to give a developing nation the opportunity to compete at the highest level of cricket. If you look around what's happening across the globe, you could see that test-playing nations in other regions are helping other countries develop their cricket. If you go to Europe, you see England helping Ireland develop their cricket, Scotland, and of course, back in Africa, Cricket South Africa in recent time have taken it upon itself to help the other countries develop their cricket. And so the whole idea is to get emerging nations to compete in their domestic tournaments, you know, where they have the opportunity to play alongside top players and franchise players. And in those tournaments, in those teams, you're going to have some of South Africa's senior national team players competing alongside our players. So it's a big opportunity for Nigeria to have been invited this time around.
So how are we getting ready for this one? Because our cricket has been a bit quiet since after the T20 qualifiers.
Well, I would say there's a lot happening at the moment because, you know, we've been 1 year on board now, and when we came on board, there was a lot happening at that time. And at the moment, we're trying to consolidate on what we've promised. Presently, there's a development of the cricket pitches going on in Abuja, and we are working on them, hoping that they are ready for the National Sports Festival so that we can at least have tough wickets in Nigeria. And after that, the next focus will be Tafawa Balewa Square, which is our own national heritage of cricket. Presently, as we speak, the under-19 team are in Uganda, touring before a tournament, Division 2 tournament that will be holding in South Africa between 17th and 27th of August. So
okay, so thank you so much, Endurance of Fame, for talking to us on the show tonight as regards the Africa T20 Cup. Endurance of Fame is, at the moment, the athlete representative in the board of the Nigeria Cricket Federation, but are known for his exploits when he was captain of the national team. Joseph, it's cricket, and he just told us that look at what test playing nations do. So they say, oh, come, let's see ways that we can assist your cricket to get better.
Absolutely, great wisdom. I mean, we've never had this in any sports before, and for them to have thought of it is, is an original thought that is really going to help spread the gospel of cricket all over the world. It's a great sport. We've been playing cricket long before we even started football.
I know.
And I just hope we avail ourselves of this opportunity of playing test cricket with, elite players in the world and develop our skills, not just in terms of playing with them, but also coaching as well. I know that there will be a lot of seminars as well to ensure that you enlighten them, because an important aspect of developing the game it also involves passing on information in terms of the development. But it's fantastic move, fantastic move.
You remember they were speaking to a South African technical advisor to come around and develop cricket in Nigeria. They are also doing more for infrastructure, putting together the Oval Square right here at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos so that cricket will be played. And Gerard's just told us that the national under-19 team, they are in Uganda getting ready for a championship in 2 weeks' time. So you see, we're not just football. We're also cricket. And so we'll keep our eyes on that one. Yes, it should get us talking when action commences from the 14th to the 16th and the 23rd to the 24th of September. Cricket will get our attention. From cricket to athletics now. The athletics championship has just been concluded in Delta State, Nigeria, and a lot of talking points came out of it. Artobodi said, look, there are talents in Nigeria. Nigeria is so blessed. Lewis Johnson, renowned sports broadcaster in the United States of America, says, look, he had an awesome time in Nigeria, and that the Nigerian fans are so passionate. We had an exclusive interview with Lewis Johnson. Let's listen to him, and I'll come back. We'll talk some more, so don't go anywhere. Stay.
Austin, it's just been amazing. I came with an open mind, expecting the unexpected, to see what would happen and how what would unfold. And after having covered so many great African athletes at the World Championships and Olympics, it was something special personally and professionally to come to the continent for the first time, and to arrive in Lagos and then go over to Asaba and be there at the event. It has just been an amazing experience to see the athletes, and then also to see the love from the fans and how the stands are packed every day for the event. It's just been incredible.
And you've covered a lot of world championships. You've mentioned the Olympics also. With what you saw in Asaba, does Africa have the potential to rule the world of athletics?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure my colleague touched on it, Otto Bolden, a couple of times during our broadcast, and maybe even with you, about just the sheer numbers in the population here on the continent, as well as in this country of Nigeria. And there is no question. It's just a matter of being able to capture that talent early for someone, the right eyes to see it early, and then put athletes and people in a place to develop and get them ready. You've already had the history on this continent and in this country of Nigeria to show the way. Now it's just about seeing and identifying the talent early and giving them a place to be able to train, see the big picture of where their talent can take them, with the beauty of the flag draped behind them, the power, the experience, the history before, those great names who've already been there on those big stages, and then get those young people to say, I want to do that. But they have to have a way, an avenue to get there. Yeah. So there's no question, with the sheer numbers in the country and on the continent, there's no question that Africa can always be a strong performer and potentially one day dominate.
And athletics is so huge in the United States, and the collegiate system is also productive. How can we, emulate what is happening in the United States?
Yeah, but we have an interesting dynamic in the United States. I mean, American football, basketball, baseball, these are all big sports, right? And track and field, for some strange reasons, we call it there, athletics, it hits its peak every 4 years, right? And you see all these incredible stories as we begin to build toward the Olympic stage. And then for some strange reason, Austin, when the games are over, it seems like everything kind of falls off the cliff in America, and that's always perplexed me. But one of the things I learned as an athlete, when I began to go to Europe to compete for the first time, at first I was frustrated that I had to go to Europe to compete and earn a living and to be appreciated and loved. And then I realized what an incredible blessing it was to be able to travel and explore the world and get to know people and cultures and then compete and be paid and do what I did. So what we have to do in the United States is try and get people to realize that these great stories and these great performances should be able to sustain us throughout the 4-year cycle of the games. The World Championships helps because in our home network of NBC, we're carrying those World Championships as well as other Diamond League events on other channels within the system of television there. But in Europe and maybe even in Africa, you have an advantage because if soccer or football is the biggest sport here, then maybe athletics is right there as a number 2. Whereas in the United States, we have other sports that are really dominating, and track and field is battling to be relevant. The key is the stars, the personalities, and when you have a Bolt kind of evacuate the scene from Jamaica, he was a transcendent athlete that was more than Jamaican. He was global. So the question is, who's the next one? And maybe in the United States, we have 1 or 2 names that will be the next ones to begin to fill that void, but it's going to take a big effort. So again, the battle is between the different sports, and it's up to the federations, and it's up to the federations to try and promote those names and keep them relevant throughout the 4-year cycle of the games.
Are we going to see Lewis in Nigeria again?
Absolutely. I only need one thing, Austin. An invitation. And I'll come back.
Thank you so much.
All the best. Great to be with you on Channels TV, okay? All right.
So that's it, Lewis Johnson of the NBC, and it was in Nigeria to broadcast the African Athletics Championship. In your bong, you know, while I was speaking to Lewis and Arthur Bolden, I started asking myself a lot of questions like, are we deliberately relegating some sports? Because he said, you have got the history. This country had the Chidimos, we had the Ezenwa brothers, the Marion Yalis, Falila. So you have the history. Why did you stop discovering and identifying talent?
We failed in leadership, Austin. It was clear failure in leadership and in a lack of foresight, a lack of vision to know where we're heading, because it has to be deliberate. It has to be deliberate. There has to be a plan. There has to be a model. We have to sit down and say, we have stars. We have talent, rather. We've got loads of talent. How do we develop this talent? How do we get these talents the necessary coaching? How do we get these talents the necessary exposure? How do we get athletics funding? How do we go into the market and make this athletics very, very popular and very exciting? Because the truth of the matter is that the reason a whole lot of sponsors will go to football is the fact that we're, whether deliberately or inadvertently, we are not really showcasing athletics and the other sports in the light we should be showcasing.
It was good in the 80s. It was good in the 90s. It was good in the early 2000s.
And the results were coming through. Yeah. Because the results were coming through because when you look at the names, you mentioned those names you reeled out, they were coming through. They were making headways in their careers. But these days, you struggle to find one athlete who is a shining star in the globe rather. So it's something that we've got to sit down and draw a blueprint. And I know we say this is becoming a cliche. We've got to sit down and draw a blueprint and say, we've got to be deliberate about the stars we've discovered.
Just say we gather everything and then we scatter it and say, let's just start it. We're not going to do this anymore. Because he also mentioned that while you identifying talent, you must keep your role models. Because Joy now has somebody in Blessing Akagbari. Esther Brumer has somebody in Blessing Akagbari. But it cannot just be only Blessing. So we must keep doing those things to retain talent.
It's so sad. You know, when I just heard him, it's so sad. We know exactly what to do. Corruption in the system. Because back in those days, what we used to do is that we develop these athletes. Some of them, we send them abroad, you know, to universities.
And the school system was also good here.
It was also good here as well, facilities. But right here, but what we've done is that we've neglected that line of production. We don't get to see them at junior championships and we expect them to do wonders at the Olympics. You can't do that. You can't develop. When you just cut off that cadre, what happens is a matter of time, you run out of stock. That's exactly what has happened. Now we are left with Blessing Kagbari, and now she's pulling out of 100, 200 meters because she cannot sustain. It's not that easy. People are coming through the line, but it's not as quick as efficient as it should be. You know, because we have failed in the fundamental things of ensuring that that line of production is kept open so that we can continue to develop those first-class athletes, even when we don't have the facilities here. At least identify them and send them abroad.
That's right.
And that's the
because it's very simple. We were showing the Welcome back. It's Sports Tonight on Channels Television. You can be part of the show. Yes, you should be part of the show. Talk to us, particularly after hearing that beautiful, sweet, heartwarming story of the Mustafa brothers featuring at the under-21 category of the Nigeria Open. They played brilliant table tennis. They lost. But at that age, our passion is alive. So it's not about winning. You know, they came out to have fun. And now social media is going crazy for them. Everyone is talking about it. And we're glad that we are also talking about the Mustafa brothers from Borno State. Sports has a power to reform lives, and we will continue to encourage sports at a grassroots level. Let's get on with the show now. Hopefully we'll get our former Nigerian cricket captain Endurance of Fame to tell us more about the T20 Africa Cup. Yes, that's a competition that we're waiting for. Cricket South Africa announced it that Nigeria and Ghana, alongside two other teams in Mpumalanga and Limpopo, will take part in the 2018-2019 season curtain raiser. Now, the competition will take place over two jam-packed weekends of cricket from 14th to the 16th and 23rd to the 24th of September. The 20 participating teams are the 12 Cricket South Africa affiliates, 3 associate members, and the 5 guest African countries. They have been drawn in